Fox music has been a staple here in the Lowcountry for decades, and this summer they're continuing to serve the community with their summer music events. I talked one-on-one with the president of Fox Music, Joseph Fox, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Joseph Fox, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Excited to be here.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you're the president of Fox Music, and I know that the company's nearing 100 years, if I'm not mistaken.
We are getting close.
Where are you emotionally with that?
I think the biggest part is excitement, a little bit of apprehension. You know, we work every day here. Music is not given, it's earned, it's learned. And so, yes, we're almost 100, but we also have to survive and make it there and then thrive thereafter. So, with as much excitement, I think, as fun as it is, we have not taken our foot off the gas pedal. We have to work every day, and we do. Expanded in this location. We finally feels like home now. Feels like the house of music that we've been trying to build forever. And, looking forward to being here. So,
what is it like to be in the house of music these days?
So for us, I think that same underpinning of excitement. I think people get into music because they want to create. I think every musician has this little bit of gear in them where, they want to try out a new guitar or see what the new pedal does and the new sound does. We're kind of unique being a piano store, and really the only large format piano store that many people in this area have ever seen or known. Piano hasn't changed in 300 years, so how do we make that exciting? How do we bring fun into it? And part of it is our store's a petting zoo. There's 110 plus pianos out there that you can play all of them at any time, and we take them apart for kids and show them how to tune strings and show them how hammers work. And maybe that's just fun for us because we're piano nerds, but I feel like when I see the customers and they come in and they don't know anything about a piano, right? They know they like piano music, they've heard Elton John, they've heard somebody play it somewhere in their life, and they learn more about it and they start caring about how the mechanics work and how piano interchangeable parts happen and what it took to make an instrument that is, big and heavy and loud, and you have to have somebody else maintain it for you and make this beautiful haunting music or really joyous, crazy music. You can play so fast,
right?
So,
what are the customers' needs and wants today, Joseph?
So a lot of our customers are broken into three kind of separate avenues, and we try to support each one of them. And I'd say we do really well. Schools are usually buying multiple pianos at a time, and they usually lend themselves towards kind of the most discerning pianos. They want to teach their students on a high-level instrument. The professors are taking from a very, they've played the best pianos in the world on stage in their studio. They're going to maintain them, so we have kind of the contracting side of maintaining those pianos because we want that student who's at a high level to play on the best piano possible. We have homes, the folks that are kind of the seeds of those that get into the conservatories, that get into the music schools.
Yes.
Those are probably places I like working with the most. I like to see the kids grow from they first come in here. I've got two daughters. First time they play a piano, they're kind of excited, scared. They play a key and noise comes out, and sort of this connection they get to make. We call it shaking hands with the piano. Up until when they go into college or study music professionally or tour,
right.
And then they're going to see the last part of ours, which I would say is more of the venues. For us, a lot of that's churches, but we also work with traditional venues where we rent a lot of pianos. Spilletta Festival just wrapped up. Spilletta Festival this year used 17 of our instruments. So, and again, those are gonna stretch more towards the upper echelon of high-end pianos. One-offs that we're really lucky. Charleston's a small place, but we have three of the nicest pianos that Yamaha makes.
Yes.
That we put available to our community all the time. They go out to the music hall.
Yes.
All the venues that don't yet have a piano. So that third avenue, I'd say, is the smallest part of our business, but is the most stressful, most fun, because they're generally the musicians that have made it. They're the folks that we get a writer 6 months beforehand, and we get to see the back end of an event get pulled off, and sometimes if we're not too busy, we get to go to those events and see them produce and see them be part of it, which is great. And that's the loop that happens too. The kid that goes and sees that piano performed on stage goes and takes lessons, makes it into high-level conservatory, and then goes out and basically becomes the performer. And everything in between. Not to say that everyone needs to be a performer, I'm of the vein that I think that you can be high level at anything, and if you've added music to it, you're going to be a better listener. You're going to know how to be determined. Making music's hard. Practicing in and of its skill, like that skill itself, is one of the most valuable. If I do something over and over again, I will get better at it.
Yes.
And that's a great way to conquer fear. That's a great way to meet other people. You know, to how to build a little resiliency and still have fun with it. You know, not to say it's all pressure. It's music. So, yeah.
Oh, no worries. And I want to get to, obviously the community and the performance in just a second, because we're going to talk about the summer events. But what are those pressures for you all as a music store these days with Charleston's growth?
I just had a long conversation about the nature that, Fox Music being around 100 years. I don't want to say take for granted, but we've had such a strong word of mouth that we've been able to rest on. That as you get people in Charleston that don't know what we've done for the last 100 years in this community to build up music, to get the doctors from MUSC to have the relaxation that music brought them in the 70s and some of the tumultuous times that Charleston had, we've had to change the way we market folks that aren't from Charleston. And it's very new for us, and we're still figuring it out. I don't know if I've gotten good at it, but I'm definitely trying stuff as a new old business, maybe I would say. My dad retired just a couple years ago in the pandemic, so I've taken over that part, and it has been fun. We've built a lot of traffic. Talk about our events. Yes. We've done 220 of them. It's a little daunting when you put it there, especially because the middle part of that was the pandemic. So we have these series that happen, and 60, 70, 80 people come to just hear music. And that's powerful.
That is powerful.
It's not a bar that happens to have music. It's not, a worship service where you're there to hear the preacher, but you also get three songs in. These are folks that put their phone away.
Yes.
They decide to take some time to breathe, and they want to learn a little bit about what their ears are going to tell them about something very new. Some of these folks have never seen these musicians before. We're not like the Gilliard, where every time you're paying for your ticket, you know that person. You know who you're going to get. Some of these folks you're never going to see again. They only come to Charleston once. So.
And they come to Fox Music.
It's exciting. Yeah, that part's cool. For Arts Fest in North Charleston, we had back-to-back shows, and we had folks from Ukraine come, play their own instruments they made. So not only would they might make it back to Charleston, hopefully they do, and they're safe, but they are playing on their own instruments. And so you have this whole other thing where after the show, there's almost this like show and tell that happened of like, how did you do this, and where did you make it, what tweaks did you do? Right. That was pretty cool. I mean, unusual music. Definitely not something I walked into and knew how to run sound for, right? But fun and a good exploration. That adventure and exploration that I think will capture in all music, right? I mean, even in music that you've heard a million times, there's still an element of like, someone created this and composed it the first time. I'm hearing their thumbprint in it, and that's why we get goosebumps. That's why we get that emotional response that we do to music,
What does music mean to you these days?
It's work. It's still, I'm sweating. I was moving a piano this morning. But I think that it captures some of the universal fun that all humans have to experience. I always remind myself and have this very large theory that music pushed technology. That the first time that we as humans could congregate and get together was over music, because it allowed us to communicate over long distances with talking drums.
Right.
And in the earliest of times before civilizations, they found bone flutes, and what are those flutes tuned to? But find out they are the pentatonic scale that we've had unending for almost 10,000 years. And so that wonderful kind of bizarre legacy that's been remarkably consistent. And we started this conversation about a piano that hasn't really changed in 300 years, right? It's like, it's sort of the way that our legacy's gone back and forth, and you hear it, in worship music. It evokes an emotion that you can't ignore, and I feel that every day. Every day I come in there, I've wiped tears off of a piano, not of a customer that bought, just somebody that came in and they were either having a rough or a beautiful day, and they played, and you check on them an hour later.
Yes.
And they had an emotional experience. Just them and the piano by themselves. And is that what we do every day? No. Every day is moving pianos and sweating and making sure that the shows go off without a hitch. Yes. But those monthly experiments, those times when you get to meet somebody, it makes you feel universal and part of the world. Sorry, that's all.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I've been there myself. What's on your playlist these days?
That's a great one. I've been listening to a lot of a band called Jungle.
Yes.
A little bit of like a funk party band. I saw them when I was down in Florida last year. Great. And when they played live, they had a quality to their sound that you just knew they were super tuned in.
Yeah.
Really like them. And my daughter plays a lot of drums, so we've listened to a lot of percussion heavy music. Cindy Blackman Santana played here a couple years ago, has been one of her favorites.
Huh.
A really bizarre band from Germany called Soulwax. They play with 3 drummers, and so she's just enamored with like 3 people playing together.
Right.
So those 3 bands have been perennially in and around, I would say. Yeah.
Which one of these new performers, Joseph, recently had brought an emotional experience out of you?
That's a good one. We have so many great performers that have played here. We had this kind of, we call it a family jam, where we had the Fox Music. They were all employees or people that teach music here play. It was a big show. I mean, it was 10 musicians on stage, 4 guitars, 2 drummers. I mean, it was a big show. And for me, I mean, I've learned over the years of doing this how to run sound, but I don't get to stretch my wings because I'm here in what I would say a controlled environment, but a small venue. It was cool. I mean, for me, they were all my friends, all my family. It was like running sound for the Allman Brothers. I mean, and that was cool. And I went back and watched the videos. We got a really good recording of it.
Yes.
And they all had a bunch of fun, like watching back, because when we took the video, and I'm running sound, I'm kind of in the minutia. Looking back, you could see them all like smiling at each other and trading chords, and that part was cool to get to be the audience member the second time. So I'd say that one, mainly just because I knew those guys. It wasn't the first time I'd heard them. It wasn't the first time, or maybe the only time I run sound for them. They're friends, they're buddies, they're people on this wall, on the wall here. So, yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Yeah.
So we're sitting in here in the green room.
Yes. Yeah.
It's summer. People are listening to the music at the pool, in the office, at work. So what's happening here at Fox Music as far as music?
Yeah, so we've been growing our concert series. We have one coming up next Friday. We have 2 singer-songwriters from Nashville that are going to play with a local. Yeah, and they're great. And the local lady, Lorna Roberts, her husband, we go way back, but her husband actually built most of the radio stations in town. And he's an incredible engineer, taught me a lot about sound and a little bit about the repair nature of how electronics work. Indebted him forever for that. So he's going to come here. I'm looking forward to a show I can actually attend because he's going to run sound. She's going to be on stage. They're going to do a kind of a musicianship in the round. And that's going to launch into the bigger series we have with, I'd say, the small version of the family band we had at Arts Fest. It's going to be called Fairweather Friends. We'll quarterly spotlight. So it's 3 employees, 3 coworkers of ours. They're going to spotlight one other person. So on the 15th of August is going to be Savant. Savant's real cool. He does a bit of spoken word, a bit of hip hop. And he likes to back a lot of his tracks with, I would say, sounds from this area, sounds from the Low Country, or just versatile in general.
Yes.
The guy's got a really great way about poetry with him. Good. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be fun to run sound with. In between that, we have a Motown, sort of a tribute to James Jamerson.
Oh, yeah.
Which we've tried to do a few of those in the past, and that's a daunting task to pay homage to a guy that grew up in Edisto, that's family still lives here, that still plays bass, as crazy as that is. And so we'll have the Plantation Singers do a little bit of a Motown review. So for folks that just want to come see Experiences of Space, those are all songs you know from a great band, Cold Air venue. And that one, that's the middle of July. I gotta look back, and it's the 17th. So it's fun.
Yes.
It's fun. It's fun stuff that we do, and we keep booking them. We get a lot of requests. We just pulled off a big fundraiser, which we always support events, right? But we're not such a big business that can strike a check and become Boeing or Verizon or things like that. I don't really get to be the marquee sponsor for stuff, but we were able to raise a bunch of money for the YMCA this year from an event they had with their talent night, and recently Kim with Coast Studios had an event for MUSC, and they did really well. That was jam-packed, beautiful show. They actually changed our showroom. They had this whole whole theme with projectors and stuff that I'm good at, but I just had never thought of it. You know, I think about pianos, I think about lights and sound. No, they had projectors out here. The projector mapped on the wall. It was really beautiful. Yeah, that was come for that one next year. Creatives for a Cause is their group. They spotlight a different charity every time. So working with Ohm, we broadcasted a few things with Ohm Radio. Which is really cool for me. That I'm a bit of a radio nerd. I like when I travel to listen to the radio station that is that space. Even more than like streaming music, I feel like streaming music's cheating a little bit. I'd much rather hear what they're playing, and so I always compare them to Ohm. You know, I always kind of keep that as my litmus test of how cool the area is. But I love it on a road trip, and you have some dead space in between to fill conversations. You know, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool that our like local guys are up on our radio station.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, keep it up.
Keep it up. Yeah, we will. Definitely will. So how could we get tickets for these events?
So you can jump onto our Facebook page. We have links for all those there. foxmusichouse.com. Those 3 words are important. On our website, which has been getting updated. I'm a little slow on that. I'm getting faster at that. But under the event page of our website, there'll be all the ticket links. You can also come by. You can pop in. You know, similar to other venues, we'd love to come see you. The reason for you to be here is to come see our instruments and come and join these people. We ask that it's a listening environment, so you know, come as you are. You can wear any clothes as long as you're respectful. We have a no tolerance policy if you put anything on a piano, because we got to respect the instruments. They last a long time. I will tell you, in the 220 plus shows we've had, I've only had to kick out 3 people. Everyone has been amazingly respectful. Yeah. We pulled that off. Our neighbors as well too. We're in the Dorchester quarter. If you haven't been here and seen it, we kind of have these large warehouses. So our evening shows have been, as they get packed, the folks around us have been really nice to us with that. Yeah, come on by. Come see a show. Come see an experience.
Yes.
You know? Put away your phone.
Yes.
Clap along with them. Clap for them. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Take a picture with them afterwards. Yeah. Our show in September, I don't have a date for it yet, but he's actually going to have everybody get a vinyl record that he'll sign. So, you know, vinyl records are coming back around.
Right.
And his tickets are going to be a little bit more because vinyls are not cheap. They're expensive to press the vinyl in, but it'll be exciting to see. And really cool story. His drummer, Ray Marchico, actually was taught by a local friend of mine, Alex Hershenson. And they're going to stick around. They're going to stick around. So Ray's going to stay in town for a couple of days to spend some time with Alex. And that's just cool to see like your teacher from when you were a kid.
Right.
And Alex plays horn, but Ray's a world-class drummer.
Yes.
I mean, really, like he's the session go-to guy in New York. So it's a full story, you know? Yeah. And my kid loves Ray because she loves drums. So it'll be all hands on deck.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
It's going to be great. Well, Joe Fox with Fox Music, thank you so much for your time again. Welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Yeah, thank you, Quintin. This is a blast.
Likewise.
Yeah.